Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of the Road to Ultra vlog series. And today you're joining me on my long run, and I'm going to talk about how to make a training plan for really big adventures when you're an average non-elite athlete, but also really short on time. For me, I've got a full-time job and a young family. I don't have time to rack in the mileage, the time on strength training and foam rolling and everything else that I see other people doing on YouTube. So today's vlog is all about how to get ready for a really big adventure. In my case, a 55k ultra marathon, but I'd use a similar approach to get ready for marathon PB when I train for the 70k FKT and things like that. So I think these strategies work, although really important to note right now, everything has to be about what works for you. So hopefully my viewpoint helps you figure out a few new things for you in your training. Equally, please hit me up in the comments, send me a message if you've got any thoughts on what I could do better or things that work for you. I'd love to talk about those in another episode and just to keep learning for myself. Let's get stuck in and run through the weekly training and how I build up a training block.
So, welcome to this section of the video where we're going to look at how I build a training plan. This is my template, and it's a template for a block of 10 weeks towards a trail marathon. So we scroll down here, I've got a 42-kilometer trail marathon in. So brief overview, date down the left-hand column, then what am I going to do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, which is a very kind of basic look at how I might train. Seems to work around the family and work reasonably well. And as well as the details of the sessions in the coloured boxes, underneath there's the planned distance, which is what I'm aiming for, and the track of actual. And what I might do is I might add in a column on the right hand side of the screen of notes of how each session has gone or general feelings of the week. That's the main thing. So Sunday is left as a long run. Sunday long run, it can't be anything else. And I'm taking a guidance here, so I've got an aim here. My aim, I'm starting from this theoretical training plan, about 45 kilometers per week, which would be a nice, reasonable base. And I want to be running by the end, if we scroll down here, 80 kilometers or 70 kilometers the last few weeks. And we're looking at building that up in a steady way of about 10%. Okay, so I will also start thinking about base building first and then getting in a bit more pace later. So I've broken it down into a first 2 weeks of an initial absolute base where there will be very little pace to make sure that as I start building, the strength is there. Another small phase of 4 weeks, and what I'd like to do at the end of each of these phases is add in either a race or in a time trial, and I think a 10-kilometer time trial might be a fun way to start this block, and these should be things that you look forward to doing. So at the end of this block, hopefully there'll be a half marathon race I could join or a trail race I could put in for. So there we are, and then we've got our goal race here. So we've got our checkpoints along the way to keep us excited. Now, the first thing I would recommend doing is put in the sessions that you can do with other people. And that, for me, is a Track Tuesday session, and I won't miss that. As a chance to run with the rest of my running group is a highlight in my week. And even if I'm training for a trail marathon, I know that I'm going to get enough benefit from strength and track work combined with the fact of running with other people, leave me no doubt that that's going to be great. And that one tends to be 12 kilometers with a warm-up.
Tuesday is Track Tuesday, and it's the one session I'll do my absolute best never to miss. I think despite the 5:20 a.m. start, running with people and putting in some serious efforts at the track is just something I can't miss. It's the best feeling I have every week is just after this session, when I'm still feeling that runner's high. Today is 5 times 1500 meters at marathon pace for me. A few weeks ago I'd have been pushing a bit harder, but still easing back into it, but nice to be back at an actual pace. Let's get stuck in.
Left hip. Nope.
Rep 2. Let's go. Oh my. Yeah. That was a beast of a rep. Woo. I'm back.
You can see that the distance estimate over here is automatically pulled through 12. If you would like any help with the Excel, I'm happy to send through a template or build you a custom one. Just send me a message. I love making these sort of things. This system works for me. So in terms of this, I want my first couple of weeks to be super easy, and then I'm going to get stuck into some proper sessions. So in order to get my variety right, we'll go with hill work every other week, and not on the week of the half marathon time trial, and not on the week of the trail marathon. So actually this works quite nicely. And if I add in some tempos, then on alternative weeks that works nicely. And I can also tailor that to this one, just be a nice easier marathon session. So by pressing Alt Enter, you get to enter another race. So this might be 3 times 3 kilometers marathon pace. So we can map out the session. So I can see from overview here that there's quite a bit of hill work and tempo work going in, and we're going to leave recovery or chat pace for the remainder in this block, and so on. And we've got our long run. Now the long run is the other thing I would really look at, of where it is now and where I'd like it to be by the end of our set. So 2 weeks out, I think for this one I'd like a long run of 35 kilometers. I don't need to push out 42. For me, I know that. Some people would love to run that there. I'll drop it down the week beforehand, just so that we're originally starting this kind of taper recovery here. But we're still getting in a decent, so this will be shake it out. Maybe just a shake out 5k. It gives me a week that's big, but it's not as bad, not as heavy as it has been. Peak weeks or peak phase is here. Okay, so then it's just a question of playing with the numbers to find a set that works. Okay, so the first weekend I might be running maybe 18 kilometer weeks, so then I got to get in a 10 and a 5. But I also allow myself to change those around, because that doesn't really matter. It depends on what else is going on in my life, work and family. It gives a bit of flexibility. Okay, so this is the basics, and then it's just playing with the numbers, changing the mix around. With this, I haven't added in anything fancy, but I might have to look into like the amount of vert I was doing, if it was something particularly hilly I was aiming for, or if it's a night race, then I want to get some practices in as well. But the basics here of how I look at it and how I track it.
So week 3 of training and things are starting to come together now. I feel like the injury might be getting past. So in week 3, it was to the track on Tuesday, as always, and it was a hard session. It was 2k, 400 meter float, 2k, followed by 4 200 meters faster, and then another rep of the 2k, 400 meter float, and 2k. So my aim was to go towards a slower marathon pace, so around a kind of 4:30, 4:20 per kilometre mark, and that was fine. It felt good. I decided that within the 200s not to push it because I don't need that extra burst of speed right now. That's the thing that's probably going to give me issues with my knee. So I cut those a bit short, and then I got to the last 2K, and it's a long session. I started to think maybe I should cut that one short as well. Don't know if that was my knee or my mind, but luckily, or thankfully, another one of my training partners had already stopped at that 1K point. So I stopped there, no injuries done. Felt good, but also felt like I was doing a sensible thing. Then the other run that week were a chat pace sunrise lap with a really great group of friends and a lovely sunrise, a nice coffee. And then the long run, I had aimed for 18 kilometers. I didn't actually need that as I was a bit over on both of the other runs. And also I didn't get up early enough and ran out of time. So I got in 16.5 kilometers, but felt good. So that's the main takeaway from this week. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed that the track session from week 3 I just described was not the film clips that I showed earlier in the video. And that's because that is from week 4. Keeping up to date and making these videos every week around work has been a challenge. So I'm a little bit behind schedule there. But week 4 was when things started to click together on the Tuesday track, and running 5 times 1500 meter reps with Jay meant that I got a little bit faster each rep, and the last one felt great, coming in at 3 minute 30k per pace, 3 minute 30 minutes per kilometer, obviously. Pace at the end, and it felt so good to be running hard again, and there were no after effects on the knee. So hopefully this is a great sign that things are on the up, leaving me actually really excited now to move on into the rest of week 4 and onwards. So I'll see you next week.